Hi guys, my name's Hendo. I'm with my mate Westy.
What do you think we ought to start with today?
Westy, I think something that affects all of us. We've all been through it. You and I have been through it. A lot of guys out there, you've been through it. And that's the good old chestnut, anxiety and depression. You know, 1 in 4 people will go through anxiety, depression in their life. It's very common, and it seems to be really increasingly common these days, but it's out there, it's alive and well, and a lot of you guys out there are no doubt going through it now. So let's start with that.
Right. So there is a big difference. What can we get a definition? We're not doctors, but what's anxiety?
Well, it's a bloody good question, because I think we've got to go to good old Dr. Google on this one, because we do tend to mix them up.
Yep.
And we talk about them in the same breath, but they are very different. So we'll start with anxiety, yeah?
Sounds good to me.
Righto, let's have a look. What's anxiety? So we go to Dr. Google. Anxiety, which I'm sure we've all done. We all do Dr. Google. Okay, signs and symptoms, anxiety. And this has taken me into Beyond Blue, actually.
It's a good site, good organisation.
Okay, it talks about 3 different aspects of anxiety. Physical, and by physical they describe panic attacks, hot and cold flushes, racing heart, tightening of the chest, quick breathing, etc. So there's that physical side of anxiety. Psychological, excessive fear, worry, catastrophising. So we all do a lot of catastrophising. So that's the psychological side. Then there's a behavioural side. So there's 3 elements to this anxiety thing. And by behavioural, we're talking about avoidance of situations that make you feel anxious, which can impact on your study, work or social life. So 3 aspects. And it's an issue that affects us whether we're your age, my age, a bit younger than you, Westy, you know, in your middle age, or whether you're young teenagers. You know, it affects everybody. So,
male and female too.
Male and female. So, you know, Dr. Google's come up with a good description, but I guess like a lot of things, what does that mean to us in everyday living? So what's it mean to you, Westy?
Well, I think in a lot of ways, anxiety, it's something that at times everyone goes through, and anxiety can be in a lot of ways thinking about things and predicting things that could possibly happen, getting yourself all wound up and really not living in the moment in real ways, because you start to think about tomorrow, and everything's all about tomorrow and not about where I am. And when you think about tomorrow, a lot of the things you think about in thinking about tomorrow never happen. But it's just this mind. It's like that little monkey up there that gets in there and whatever. So you've got to somehow or other get back to reality. And I've been through it myself, and I know what sets me off: health challenges and stress, etc. And there's different ways I've dealt with it. But Neil, what about yourself?
Look, to me, it's excessive worry about something that just starts to dominate your life.
Correct.
And it might start off as worrying about something, to the point when you're worrying about everything. And you can't think clear, you can't sleep, you can't concentrate.
True.
And it just takes over your life. And you think you're going crazy. And you think, is it just me? It's not just you. And it's probably normal. And I guess through our life there are times when we will worry excessively about something and it'll pass. But there are times when it gets on top of you and it doesn't pass.
Yes.
And that's when you've got a problem and you need help. Now, what do most blokes do? They don't talk about it.
True.
We were brought up not to talk about it. It was weak. You were weak, weren't you? Even Dad said, come on, you know,
Definitely.
be a man.
Yeah.
So we were weak. So we don't talk about it. We bury it. But what's the other thing we do? What's the what's the self-medication treatment that most blokes will turn to?
Well, escapism, and escapism usually ends up in just having that glass of red wine or white wine or a whiskey, and before you know what's happened, you actually haven't escaped, you've been captured.
You've been seduced by the mistress. That's what they call
Good
it,
way of putting it.
the mistress. And it is seductive, and it makes you feel good. It does, makes you feel good. And in that moment, your worries go away. But next morning they're still there.
Correct.
So what happens?
And magnified.
Yeah. So what happens? You do it again and again, and your worries are still there.
Yes.
And so what we're doing is we're hitting the grog to do. It's treating a symptom, but not the cause. Now it was explained to me. I don't know. Has this been explained to you, Westy? It was explained to me that anxiety, and we'll get on to depression later on.
Yes.
That it's simply a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the medication restores that chemical balance. So when you understand it's something that simple, then the very simple answer is to see a doctor, a psychiatrist. Yeah, whereas women, Westy, they're more likely to talk to their friends, open up and have their friendship groups and talk, whereas men will just bury it, keep it to themselves, because the way we're, wired, we don't talk, we don't show that weakness, and we just bury it in the bottle, like you said. It starts with a few, ends up with a lot. Before you know it, we're addicted.
Yes.
So can you help me out?